Welcome to the very first part of the Film Musings course. First off, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. This course has been in the works for several years. It has been a long time coming, and I am excited to share my guide on how to shoot film photography with you all. So, when I first started shooting film, I made all of the mistakes, and it really had detoured me from taking on film full time, and it cost me an arm and a leg. But when I began to learn this new medium and I overcame these mistakes, I really fell in love with film and it shaped me as an artist. When I started the creation of this course, my goal was for you to be able to learn all about film in a way where you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. Instead, I want you to walk down the most straightforward path towards shooting film and hopefully along the way fall deeply in love with it as much as I have. Whenever I see online courses, there are always promises of what you'll achieve after gaining the information that the lessons give. And now I don't want there to be any confusion here. This is not that kind of a course. And it's a part of why I'm not charging for it. This course isn't teaching you how to make seven figures in 1 year, and this course isn't going to make you a millionaire or guarantee you have instant success. Those are things that nobody can promise you. However, what I can promise you is that this course will help you feel more confident when it comes to shooting film. I can only assume that you are here because you were interested in shooting film because you love the look of it like so many others. And I promise that within this course, you're going to get four things out of it. You're going to be able to create beautiful film images. You're going to learn how to incorporate film into your workflow as a business owner. You're going to start trusting in your own artistic eye, and you're going to be able to tap into your creative side as a photographer. I am here to cheer you on during your journey, okay? You just think of me as your own personal little cheerleader and coach. So, if all of this sounds good to you, let's start diving into the lessons and see all of the magic that film can bring you. So, before we jump into all the excellent and fun and exciting film talk, I first want to outline my own background so that you can see where my journey began and the entire process of how I got to where I am at today. Basically, give you all the deets so that you know I'm an actual teacher, that I can teach you exactly what it is that I'm claiming I can. So let's go way back to my high school days. When I was a junior in high school, I took a design and illustration course where I learned all of the ins and outs of multiple different art mediums. I learned everything from still life sketches to graphic design, and one of those art mediums was film photography. I will never forget the day they all handed us an old Minolta film camera and a few rolls of Ilford HP5, and we picked a theme and we ran with it. And after picking our subject and shooting our film, we learned how to develop and print all of our black and white film images. And it was, I mean it when I say it was my favorite subject in school. And anytime we had free reign to create for a project, I always chose film. Anytime we had like a time where, oh, here, you go and do your own thing, it was always film. I was always in the dark room. After high school and into my early 20s, I dove into digital photography when I got a fancy DSLR as a birthday gift. And unfortunately, back in early 2010, the ease of shooting film hadn't really taken off yet, and my wallet just it couldn't handle the cost because like most 20-year-olds, I was poor. And so I ended up switching to digital. At the beginning of 2013, I officially started my business. I photographed families, seniors, kids, commercial work, and weddings. I did it all, everything under the sun. And I shot solely on my DSLR. And it wasn't until around 2015 that I started to notice film photography was becoming more popular. I was starting to see photographers like Jose Villa, rise up in the ranks of wedding photographers. And one of my biggest struggles for myself was finding the specific brand and style for my photos. In addition, I struggled with creating consistent work, especially when using a digital camera. So for me, the most exciting aspect of learning film was knowing that I would always have a consistent look and feel to my images. Plus, my time editing images would be cut in half. So it was a win-win. Everybody's a winner here. And so this is where my journey into learning film started. It started a bit slow as I struggled through the entire learning process. And one of my biggest complaints about the photography industry is that it can be really competitive at times. And because of this, some photographers aren't as willing to share their insight with newcomers. I'm not noticing that too much now, but back in the day, I did see that a lot. It was really difficult to find information. It was hard to ask questions. And during the early 2015 time, there was like little to no information or tutorials about film on the internet. So I learned the good old fashioned way through trial and error and paying a shit ton of money to buy courses and attend retreats. And as you can imagine, it didn't go very well when I first started learning about it. I had bought a cheap film camera on eBay and began testing, and when I got my first roll of film back, it was garbage. Every image was trash. And this little mistake really discouraged me, and it led me to feeling defeated and giving up on film. And it turns out it was only because the camera I bought on eBay was broke. So, there's that. Turns out buying a $20 film camera on eBay wasn't the best route to go, but, in hindsight. So during that time, even though I wasn't actively learning or shooting film, I was still in love with how it looked. I would see other photographers share their work on Pinterest and Instagram, and it hooked me. It had its clutches on me. So in early 2016, I decided to pick it back up again, and I started throwing a ton of money at courses and workshops and purchased my first medium format camera. My first couple of rolls with a camera that actually worked were the highlight of my business. When I got that first few film scans back from the lab, I remember sitting at my computer and just sobbing because I had finally discovered how I was going to photograph for the rest of my life. And the rest is history, and I've been shooting film ever since. I stopped actively taking clients around the end of 2019, but I still shoot film even though I don't photograph weddings or take on new clients anymore. Whenever I travel, I go to an event, my film camera, it's always there with me. I even have a film camera in my home that always has a fresh roll of film whenever I need to document and capture my life. So now you know all about my history and journey as a business owner. So let's jump into the outline of this course. As I've stated previously, this whole idea was to be an online course that I was going to make available for purchase. Actually, let me back up a bit. It originally had intended to be like a magazine slash book that I was going to sell and I wanted people to be able to have. But then I started to realize that learning film would be better if people could see it visually or they could hear it audibly. And so it kind of then just morphed into maybe being an online course. But as I started building it, and I started trying to wrap my brain around how much I was going to charge for it, I remembered what a pain it was to learn film for me in the beginning. And I didn't want to put someone through that because film photography can be a really fun hobby, even if you don't own a business. And I believe everybody deserves to learn about film, regardless of their financial situation. I came from a very privileged place where I could strategically save up money to pay for extensive courses and workshops and books to start this journey. But I understand that not everybody has those kinds of resources available, and there needs to be room at the table for everyone, regardless of what season you are in life. So please save your money and use it wisely and buy fun film cameras and film stocks. Also, personally, I found that when you tie money to something, there is an expectation for what the buyer is receiving. And I didn't want to let people down. The last thing I wanted was for someone to spend their hard earned money on something I created and then walk away disappointed and walk away potentially not have learned anything. So I decided to toss out all my knowledge. And if people learned from it, fantastic. And if they didn't, then no harm. This entire course is going to be in a few different places. I plan to create a blog post for each section, and that blog post will include a YouTube video of the audio, a transcript, and example images. The audios will also be on a playlist on my YouTube channel, and finally, there will always be a link in the description box of each video that will take you to the entire playlist and a link to the website where the whole course is outlined and written up and all laid out pretty for you. So whether you prefer listening or reading, I want this course to be accessible to you in whatever way you learn best. I decided to set this course up in 3 different modules or sections. The first being the fundamentals of film, which I can't even say that without thinking of Michael Scott. But this module will cover, you guessed it, all of the foundations of shooting film. This course will include everything from specific film stocks to my favorite film cameras and all the shooting and lighting situations. It's all going to be included in this first module. This first section will help jumpstart your journey with film. And I kind of designed it so that it would be an all in one, it would all encompass film. You can do module 2 and 3 if you want to take it further, but you don't have to. All you would need would be the first module if you're just interested in learning how to shoot film. Now, let's jump into the second module. So, this second module of the course will dive into the business part of shooting film. I owned a photography business for over 7 years, and by the end of my wedding career, I was shooting film 100% of the time. So, this course is going to help walk you through how to photograph clients on film, what to carry in your bag during shoots, and the entire outline of capturing a wedding while shooting hybrid, while using both film and digital. By the end of the section, you should feel more confident to start shooting film with your clients and incorporating it into your business. And last but not least, the third and final section will focus on using film personally. Shooting film isn't just for weddings, because I took some of my absolute favorite images just in my home with my kiddos. This module will go through the aspects of traveling with film, all the fun cameras you can get, and all of the fun experimental film stocks, and how to develop and scan your own film. So this module will be great for my artistic and creative friends who want to experiment and get out of their comfort zone when it comes to shooting film. And there you have it, my friends. Yay! Now you have all of the backstory and information to get you started on this course. And once again, I am so happy that you are interested in film. It makes my heart sing. I love it. I love when other people get so invested and they start their journey with film. I just love seeing it. And I really hope that you're excited to be learning with me. So thank you for sticking around, and I will see you in Module 1.